While coastal real estate prices continue to skyrocket, there's a silent land rush happening across America, and you can still buy fertile farmland for less than the price of a used car per acre. By the end of this video, you'll discover the 15 most affordable states to purchase farmland in 2026, complete with average prices per acre, what you can actually grow or raise on that land, and insider tips on hidden costs that could make or break your investment. Whether you're dreaming of a self-sufficient homestead, planning an agricultural retirement, or looking for a smart land investment, these opportunities won't stay cheap forever. Welcome to Destination Check, where we uncover the best destinations for your next adventure, investment, or life chapter. If you're serious about land ownership or rural living, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our insider guides. Let's start with the absolute cheapest options, states where your dollar stretches furthest and farmland prices seem almost too good to be true. Coming in at number 15, we have New Mexico, where farmland averages around $1,200 per acre in 2026. Now, before you think that sounds too good to be true, let's talk reality. New Mexico's affordability comes with significant challenges, primarily water scarcity. This is high desert country, and if you're purchasing land here, you need to understand water rights before you sign anything. The state operates under prior appropriation doctrine, meaning first in time, first in right. Many properties don't come with adequate water rights, and drilling a well can cost anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000 depending on depth. That said, the state excels in certain agricultural niches. Pecan orchards thrive in the southern regions, particularly around Las Cruces, and New Mexico produces more pecans than any state except Georgia. The state also has a growing wine industry in the Rio Grande Valley, and if you're interested in livestock, the open range laws make it surprisingly economical to raise cattle. The best regions for land purchases are typically in the eastern plains near Clovis and Portales, where you'll find some of the most affordable parcels with better water access than the western portions of the state. At number 14, Wyoming offers farmland averaging around $1,350 per acre. This is cattle country through and through, with wide open spaces and some of the most spectacular mountain views you'll find anywhere in America. The affordability here is largely due to Wyoming's harsh winters and relatively short growing season. We're talking about 90 to 120 frost-free days, depending on your elevation and location. But don't let that discourage you. Wyoming's low property taxes are among the best in the nation, and there's no state income tax, which makes this an attractive option for anyone planning to generate revenue from their land. Hay production dominates the agricultural landscape, feeding both local cattle operations and providing a reliable cash crop. Water is generally more available here than in New Mexico, with many properties having access to irrigation from snowmelt and mountain streams. The infrastructure can be challenging. You might be 30 or 40 miles from the nearest town, but for those seeking true rural isolation and the potential for hunting leases or recreational income, Wyoming presents a compelling package. Be aware that financing can be trickier in Wyoming, as fewer lenders specialize in agricultural properties in the state, so having a larger down payment or cash purchase capability gives you significant negotiating leverage. Number 13 brings us to South Dakota, where the average farmland price sits around $1,400 per acre. This state represents one of the most interesting opportunities on our list because it's experiencing a quiet agricultural renaissance. The eastern portion of South Dakota, particularly around Sioux Falls, has strong agricultural infrastructure, with grain elevators, processing facilities, and excellent rail access. The soil in these regions is incredibly fertile. We're talking prime corn and soybean country that rivals Iowa in productivity. So why is it so affordable? The answer is largely about perception and population. South Dakota doesn't have the name recognition of neighboring states, and its total population is under 1 million people, which keeps demand lower than you might expect given the quality of the land. The state offers several tax advantages for beginning farmers, including reduced property taxes for the first few years of agricultural operation. The climate is continental, meaning cold winters but reliable precipitation during the growing season. One often overlooked opportunity here is the state's growing agritourism sector. With Mount Rushmore, the Badlands, and increasing tourism traffic, properties that can offer farm stays, hunting experiences, or U-pick operations have strong secondary income potential beyond traditional agriculture. Montana lands at number 12 with average farmland prices around $1,500 per acre. Big Sky Country lives up to its name, and if you're looking for a combination of affordability and breathtaking natural beauty, Montana deserves serious consideration. The state divides roughly into two agricultural zones: the Eastern Plains, which are drier and focused on wheat and cattle, and the Western Mountain Valleys, which have shorter growing seasons but incredible recreational value. For pure agricultural investment, the Eastern region offers better value, particularly around towns like Great Falls, Lewistown, and Miles City. These areas benefit from dryland farming techniques that have been perfected over generations, and wheat yields can be surprisingly strong even without irrigation. Montana's appeal extends beyond. The state has become a hotspot for wealthy individuals seeking privacy and land ownership, which has driven up prices in trophy areas like Bozeman and Missoula, but has left the agricultural plains remarkably affordable. Conservation easements are popular in Montana, and selling the development rights to your land while retaining agricultural use can provide a significant cash infusion while reducing your property taxes permanently. The state also offers excellent opportunities for hunting leases, particularly for elk, deer, and upland birds, which can generate $3 to $7 per acre annually in supplemental income. Rounding out our bottom 5 at number 11 is Nevada, with average farmland prices around $1,600 per acre. Yes, Nevada. And before you dismiss it as nothing but desert and casinos, hear me out. Nevada's agricultural opportunities are highly specialized, but potentially lucrative for the right buyer. The state's Fallon area, about an hour east of Reno, has some of the most productive alfalfa ground in the entire country, thanks to the Newlands irrigation project. This federally managed system provides reliable water, and alfalfa from this region is in high demand, particularly for export to Asia where it feeds dairy operations. Beyond alfalfa, Nevada offers opportunities in specialty crops and livestock. The state has a growing garlic industry, and certain microclimates in the northern regions support wine grapes. For those interested in more alternative agriculture, Nevada's favorable zoning in many counties allows for hemp production, which remains a high-value crop despite market volatility. The challenge with Nevada is that you really need to know what you're buying. Water rights are everything, and properties without them are essentially worthless for agriculture. The state also has significant stretches of federal land, so you'll want to understand grazing rights and Bureau of Land Management regulations if you're running livestock. That said, Nevada's proximity to California markets, combined with its business-friendly tax structure and no state income tax, makes it an intriguing option for agricultural entrepreneurs. These 5 states offer incredible entry points, but the next tier combines affordability with even stronger agricultural infrastructure and market access. These states strike the perfect balance: slightly higher prices but with better infrastructure, stronger agricultural economies, and often more reliable weather patterns. At number 10, we have North Dakota, where farmland averages around $1,750 per acre. This might surprise you because North Dakota is a powerhouse in agricultural production, ranking among the top states for wheat, barley, and canola. The affordability relative to the productivity is one of the best-kept secrets in American agriculture. The soil here is rich, dark, and deep. Some of the same glacial deposits that make the Canadian prairies so productive extend into North Dakota. The state has excellent extension services through North Dakota State University, and the farming community is tight-knit and generally welcoming to newcomers who demonstrate genuine interest in agriculture. The Red River Valley along the eastern border is particularly productive, though prices there edge toward the higher end of the state average. If you're willing to move further west into the drier regions, you can find excellent deals on rangeland suitable for cattle. North Dakota's agricultural economy received a significant boost from the Bakken oil boom, which improved rural infrastructure dramatically. Better roads, updated utilities, and expanded broadband access in areas that previously struggled with connectivity. The state also offers strong financing options for beginning farmers, including loan programs that can cover up to 95% of purchase price for qualified buyers. Nebraska comes in at number 9, with average farmland prices around $1,900 per acre. Now, you might wonder why Nebraska is considered a bargain. After all, this is prime agricultural country with some of the most productive farmland in America. The answer is regional variation. While the prime irrigated ground in the Platte Valley commands premium prices often exceeding $5,000 per acre, the western and northern portions of the state remain remarkably affordable. The Sandhills region, which covers about a quarter of the state, is largely unsuited for row crop production, but is absolutely ideal for cattle ranching. The grass-stabilized sand dunes create natural sub-irrigation in many areas, meaning cattle have consistent access to water and forage even during dry periods. Nebraska's agricultural infrastructure is world-class, with extensive grain handling facilities, processing plants, and direct rail access to major markets. The state is also leading the way in precision agriculture adoption, and many equipment dealers offer cutting-edge technology at competitive prices. For those interested in diversification, Nebraska has strong hunting lease potential, particularly in the western regions where mule deer, antelope, and pheasant are abundant. The property taxes in Nebraska are higher than some neighboring states, which is something to factor into your long-term cost analysis, but the productivity and reliability of Nebraska agriculture often justifies the expense. Kansas takes the number 8 spot with farmland averaging around $2,000 per acre. The sunflower state is a wheat empire, producing more wheat than any state except North Dakota, and the agricultural expertise here runs deep. What makes Kansas particularly attractive is the diversity of agricultural options available. The eastern third of the state receives adequate rainfall for corn and soybeans, the central region is wheat country, and the western plains are cattle territory. This means you can choose your agricultural path based on your interests and expertise level. Kansas also has some of the most farmer-friendly policies in the country, including right-to-farm laws that protect agricultural operations from nuisance lawsuits. The state university system, particularly Kansas State University, offers exceptional extension services and research that benefit even small-scale operators. One often overlooked advantage of Kansas farmland is the wind lease potential. The state is a national leader in wind energy generation, and if your property has decent wind resources, leasing land to wind developers can generate substantial passive income, typically $3,000 to $8,000 per turbine annually, while still allowing you to farm around the turbine bases. The cost of living in rural Kansas is among the lowest in the nation, which means your farm income goes further. Healthcare access has improved significantly in recent years, with telemedicine filling gaps in rural areas, addressing one of the historical concerns about remote agricultural living. Oklahoma claims the number 7 position with farmland prices averaging around $2,100 per acre. This state is seriously underrated in agricultural circles, and smart investors have been quietly accumulating Oklahoma farmland for the past decade. The state's agricultural diversity is remarkable. Cattle ranching dominates the western regions, while the eastern portions support poultry, hay, and row crops. Oklahoma has become a hub for regenerative agriculture and organic farming, with strong consumer demand from nearby urban markets in Tulsa and Oklahoma City. The state offers substantial tax incentives through agricultural exemptions, and the requirements to qualify are quite accessible compared to other states. Cross Timbers region, running diagonally through the state, offers particularly good value, with rolling hills, decent rainfall, and natural beauty that rivals more expensive regions. Oklahoma's Native American heritage means that some land transactions involve tribal considerations, but this also creates opportunities for specific programs and partnerships that can benefit agricultural operations. The state has invested heavily in rural broadband over the past few years, making it increasingly feasible to run modern, technology-dependent farm operations even in remote areas. For those interested in agritourism, Oklahoma's central location and growing tourism sector create opportunities for farm-to-table operations, wedding venues, and recreational hunting. At number 6, we have Arkansas, where farmland averages around $2,200 per acre. The natural state offers some of the most versatile agricultural land in America. Arkansas is the top rice-producing state in the nation, and the Grand Prairie region in the eastern part of the state has some of the most productive rice ground anywhere. But beyond rice, Arkansas supports soybeans, cotton, poultry, cattle, and an increasingly important timber industry. The state's climate provides a longer growing season than northern states, generally around 200 frost-free days, which opens up opportunities for double cropping and specialty crops like sweet potatoes. Arkansas has extensive water resources with numerous rivers, lakes, and relatively high rainfall, which reduces irrigation costs and concerns compared to western states. The state's poultry industry is massive, and contract growing for companies like Tyson can provide stable income streams, though it does require infrastructure investment in chicken houses. For those interested in smaller scale or hobby farming, Arkansas's Ozark region offers beautiful landscapes, growing retirement communities, and strong demand for local food products. The state university system provides excellent extension services, and Arkansas has been proactive in supporting beginning farmers with mentorship programs and financial assistance. Property taxes remain low, and the overall cost of living makes it feasible to start a farming operation with limited capital beyond the land purchase itself. But what if you want the cheapest land that also offers the strongest return potential and highest quality of life? These final 5 states deliver exactly that. These aren't just cheap, they're smart investments. The top 5 states on our list offer affordable entry prices, strong appreciation forecasts, and the lifestyle benefits that make rural living truly rewarding. Mississippi earns the number 5 spot with average farmland prices around $2,300 per acre. This represents exceptional value when you consider the soil productivity and water availability. The Mississippi Delta is legendary in agricultural circles. The alluvial soils deposited by centuries of river flooding create some of the richest, most productive farmland in the world. Cotton, soybeans, and rice dominate, but the region also supports corn and wheat. What makes Mississippi particularly attractive right now is the population migration trend. While the state isn't seeing massive population growth, it is experiencing increased interest from retirees and remote workers seeking affordable living, which is slowly driving up land values in the more accessible areas. This creates appreciation potential while keeping current prices remarkably low. Mississippi offers substantial tax incentives for agricultural operations, including favorable assessment ratios for farmland that keep property taxes minimal. The state's catfish aquaculture industry is substantial, and if you have property with suitable water resources, catfish farming can be highly profitable with proper management. The climate allows for extended growing seasons, and the state's proximity to Gulf ports makes it attractive for export-oriented agriculture. Carbon credit programs are gaining traction in Mississippi, and landowners who adopt practices like no-till farming and cover crops can generate additional revenue streams through carbon markets. Healthcare access in rural Mississippi has historically been a concern, but telemedicine expansion and regional medical centers have improved the situation considerably. For pure agricultural investment with appreciation potential, Mississippi deserves serious consideration. Missouri takes the number 4 spot with farmland averaging around $2,400 per acre. The Show Me State offers incredible diversity in both landscape and agricultural opportunity. Northern Missouri is row crop country with rich, productive soils that support corn, soybeans, and wheat. Southern Missouri transitions into Ozark Hill Country with cattle ranching, hay production, and growing opportunities in viticulture. Missouri's wine industry is expanding rapidly and gaining national recognition. What $100,000 could buy you in Missouri is genuinely impressive. You're looking at 40 to 50 acres of decent farmland, potentially with existing buildings in many parts of the state. This is enough land to run a substantial hobby farm, generate meaningful income through cattle or hay, or develop an agritourism operation. Missouri's central location is a huge advantage, providing access to multiple major markets within a day's drive. The state has excellent transportation infrastructure with major highways, rail lines, and the Mississippi River providing shipping access. Missouri offers strong support for beginning farmers through FSA programs, and the state's agricultural heritage means you'll find deep expertise and willing mentors in virtually every county. The conservation culture is strong here, with numerous programs offering cost sharing for practices like fencing, water development, and native grass establishment. For those interested in recreational income, Missouri is a premier destination for deer and turkey hunting, and quality hunting leases can command $10 to $20 per acre annually. The climate provides roughly 180 frost-free days in most regions, allowing for diverse cropping options. Rural broadband access has improved dramatically, and the state's relatively low cost of living means your farm income stretches further than in coastal states. Alabama claims the number 3 spot with average farmland prices around $2,500 per acre. The heart of Dixie is experiencing a quiet agricultural transformation, and forward-thinking investors are taking notice. Alabama's soil productivity is excellent, particularly in the Black Belt region, where the dark, chalky soils support highly productive agriculture. The state's traditional crops, cotton, corn, soybeans, and peanuts, remain strong, but Alabama is also seeing growth in specialty agriculture, including pecans, blueberries, and greenhouse production. The state's climate provides approximately 210 frost-free days in the southern portions, making it suitable for crops that can't survive further north. Alabama's timber industry is substantial, and purchasing cut-over timberland at bargain prices, then managing it for timber production, hunting leases, and potential carbon credits represents a compelling investment strategy. The state's catfish and aquaculture industries offer opportunities for those with suitable water resources. Alabama has made significant investments in rural infrastructure, including broadband expansion that's making remote work increasingly feasible from agricultural properties. The state's proximity to Gulf ports and growing automotive manufacturing sector provides economic stability that benefits the agricultural economy indirectly. Alabama offers favorable property tax treatment for agricultural land, and the state's low overall cost of living makes it feasible to transition to farming without requiring immediate profitability. Climate change resilience is becoming an increasingly important consideration for farmland purchases, and Alabama's water security, courtesy of high annual rainfall and numerous rivers and aquifers, positions it well for long-term agricultural viability. The state university system provides excellent extension services, and Auburn University's agricultural research benefits farmers throughout the state. Emerging agricultural technologies, particularly in precision agriculture and drone applications, are being rapidly adopted by Alabama farmers, creating a forward-thinking agricultural community. Kentucky gallops into the #2 spot with average farmland prices around $2,600 per acre. The bluegrass state is synonymous with horse farms and bourbon, but savvy investors understand there's far more to Kentucky agriculture. The state's rolling topography, adequate rainfall, and moderate climate create ideal conditions for diverse agricultural operations. Kentucky is a leading tobacco state historically, though many farmers have successfully transitioned to alternative crops, including hemp, which Kentucky has embraced more enthusiastically than most states. The state's cattle industry is strong, particularly in grass-fed and organic production, which commands premium prices in nearby urban markets. Why smart investors are quietly accumulating land in Kentucky comes down to several factors. First, the state's location provides access to over half the U.S. population within a day's drive, making it ideal for direct marketing operations. Second, Kentucky's agricultural infrastructure is mature and reliable, with established supply chains, processing facilities, and marketing channels. Third, the state offers exceptional quality of life, with 4 distinct seasons, natural beauty, and cultural amenities that make rural living appealing to families and retirees.
Climate change resilience is a significant factor. Kentucky has reliable precipitation, isn't prone to major droughts, and isn't experiencing the water table depletion issues plaguing western states. The state has substantial water resources from rivers, streams, and aquifers, ensuring long-term agricultural viability. Kentucky has been proactive in supporting renewable energy on farmland, with solar leasing becoming increasingly common. Landowners can lease acreage to solar developers while maintaining agricultural operations on the majority of their property, creating diversified income streams. The comprehensive cost breakdown for Kentucky farmland extends beyond the per-acre price. You'll need to factor in property taxes, which are moderate, and potential infrastructure costs if purchasing raw land. However, the state's strong agricultural lending environment means financing is readily available for qualified buyers, often with favorable terms for beginning farmers. Kentucky's position at #2 reflects its balanced offering, not the cheapest on our list, but arguably the best overall value considering productivity, appreciation potential, quality of life, and market access. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Coming at #1, the ultimate farmland bargain of 2026 is Tennessee, with average farmland prices around $2,700 per acre. Now, you might be surprised to see Tennessee at the top of a cheapest farmland list, but let me explain the complete value proposition. Tennessee offers exceptional diversity in agricultural opportunities, strong appreciation forecasts, excellent quality of life, and increasingly favorable economic conditions. The state divides into 3 distinct regions: East Tennessee, with its mountain beauty and cattle operations, Middle Tennessee, with its productive row crop and livestock farms, and West Tennessee, with its rich Mississippi River bottomland. This diversity means you can find the agricultural operation that matches your interests and expertise. What you need to know before making an offer in Tennessee is that location matters significantly. Properties within an hour of Nashville or other growing cities command premium prices due to development pressure, but this same proximity creates strong appreciation potential and opportunities for eventual subdivision or development. If you move to the more rural counties, particularly in Middle and West Tennessee, prices drop considerably while maintaining agricultural productivity.
Hidden gems within Tennessee include counties like Giles, Lawrence, and Wayne in the south-central portion of the state, where you'll find productive farmland, beautiful landscapes, and prices often below the state average. These areas benefit from adequate rainfall, long growing seasons approaching 200 frost-free days, and proximity to emerging markets. Tennessee has no state income tax, which is a massive advantage for anyone generating farm income or planning agricultural retirement. Property taxes are relatively low, and the state offers generous agricultural classifications that further reduce tax burden. The agricultural community in Tennessee is welcoming and supportive, with strong extension services from the University of Tennessee. The state's timber industry provides opportunities for landowners to generate income from forestry while maintaining livestock operations in managed forests. Tennessee's location provides access to multiple major markets, and the state's transportation infrastructure, including I-40, I-65, I-75, and numerous rail lines, facilitates agricultural commerce. The state has invested heavily in rural broadband, recognizing that modern agriculture depends on connectivity for precision farming, marketing, and remote monitoring. Tennessee's emerging agricultural technology sector, particularly around Nashville's growing tech scene, is creating interesting partnerships between traditional agriculture and modern innovation. Action steps for serious buyers in Tennessee start with identifying your primary agricultural interest: row crops, cattle, horses, specialty agriculture, or timber. Then focus your search on regions that match that interest. Work with a realtor who specializes in farm and land sales, not residential properties. Get a professional land evaluation that includes soil testing, water availability assessment, and timber crews if applicable. Understand the local zoning, particularly regarding potential restrictions on agricultural buildings or livestock operations. The 5-year outlook for Tennessee farmland is strong. Population growth in the state is outpacing the national average, driven by people and businesses relocating from higher-cost states. This creates both demand for agricultural products and long-term appreciation potential for land. Climate resilience models favor Tennessee, with reliable water resources and growing seasons that may actually improve slightly with climate change. The state's agricultural diversification opportunities, from traditional row crops to agritourism to carbon credits to solar leases, provide multiple paths to profitability and resilience against market volatility. Why timing matters now is simple. Tennessee farmland prices have appreciated steadily but moderately over the past decade, meaning we haven't seen the speculative bubble that's affected some states. However, the migration trends, agricultural fundamentals, and quality of life factors suggest appreciation is accelerating over the next 5 years. Waiting could mean paying 20 to 30% more for the same property. Affordable farmland isn't just about cheap dirt. It's about opportunity, legacy, and building the life you've always imagined. These 15 states prove you don't need millions to own a piece of America's agricultural